Let's talk about credit cards some more. How do you get approved for your first credit card, especially if you don't even have any credit to begin with? And if you're thinking about getting your first credit card, what should you be looking for? All credit cards aren't created equal and some may be better off for you. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about getting your first credit card and some very important things you need to consider before you apply for any credit cards. Also, if you're thinking about getting your first credit card, but you have no credit history, then this video can and will help you to make the best decision. So stick around to the very end of this video. Now, if you're new to the channel or you're watching one of my videos for the very first time, my name is Ian and I post videos here on YouTube every single day on topics relating to making money and personal finance. So if you'd like to see more of these videos, give this video a thumbs up, I'll really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing and turning on all the notifications, and that way you'll be able to get the updates every day when I post a new video here. Also, leave a comment below and let me know why you have credit cards or why you want a credit card. Is it to have more money to spend, or do you just want it for the sake of building up your credit score? Comment below. Now, the very first thing I want you to consider if you're thinking about getting your very first credit card is not the interest rates. That's irrelevant at this point. Instead, you need to ensure that whichever card you choose to go with, you can see yourself using that card in 10 to 15 years from now. Now, the reason you want a credit card or your very first credit card to be this useful is because you shouldn't close your oldest credit card account. You can, but you shouldn't, because your credit score will suffer as it affects the average age of your credit history. So you want to find a credit card that has a small annual fee or no annual fees, and also a card that doesn't come with any ridiculous fees like a no usage fee, where if you don't use it for a month, you get charged a fee. This way, whenever your credit is really good and you can get better credit cards that will provide you with more value, you can still keep your first credit card account open and not having it cost you anything. So very, very important. Your first credit card should be one that you can see yourself keeping forever or for at least 10 to 15 years. Now, secondly, let's talk about the credit score. If you're thinking about getting your first credit card, you most likely won't have a credit score. So the problem here is that you can't really have an unsecured credit card because you don't have any credit history. However, almost every credit card company and bank has a card which is for beginners. These credit cards aren't usually always the same though. I did a video a while back on the worst credit cards, and if you watch that video, you'll be surprised at the amount of restrictions and fees that those credit cards come with. So to get your first secured credit card, you'll need a deposit. There is no way around this. So if you're thinking about getting your first credit card, I would recommend that you have a job or at least some form of income, because you will need at least $200 or $300 to $500 depending on which card you choose to go with. Also, this deposit will determine what your credit limit will be. So if you make a deposit of $300, then you'll be getting a credit limit of $300. And if you make a deposit of, let's say, $2,000, then you will be getting a credit limit of $2,000. And this is also very, very important. Now, I mentioned you having a job because for your first credit card, you want to get the highest possible credit limit that you can starting out. I recommend the Discover It Secured credit card, and that one allows you to deposit as much as $2,500 and receive a credit limit of $2,500. Now, the reason you want the highest possible credit limit starting out is because if you start with a credit limit of only $300, then in 6 months, if you were good with your payments, the credit card company or bank will most likely automatically increase your credit limit. However, if you had a limit of $300 before, they may increase it to $500 or $600. If you had a credit limit of $2,000 starting out, then they would be more likely to increase your limit to $3,000 or even $4,000. Now, why is this so important? Well, for one, the higher your credit limit, the lower your utilization rate can be, which accounts for a percentage of your credit score. So if you need to spend $1,000 every month on this credit card and your limit is $2,000, then you would be spending 50% of your available credit, which would slow the rate at which your credit score increases. If your limit was $4,000, then $1,000 would only be around 25% or thereabout, which is a good place to keep your utilization. Now, this way, your credit score keeps increasing as quickly as it should. If it's your first credit card, chances are you want to get your credit score up. So in a year's time, you can have access to better loans and credit card offers. So this one is very, very important. Now, another consideration to make before getting your first credit card is the fees. Secured credit cards can charge you fees of up to $250 per year and more each time you make a transaction. And while these credit cards will work well with building your credit, I think it's better off to get a credit card that has no fees. Because why pay fees when you don't have to? So be sure to do your research and choose a credit card that doesn't come with a lot of fees. Now, another very important consideration to make before applying for your first credit card is what credit bureaus it reports to. Ideally, you want this credit card to report to all 3 credit bureaus. You can call and verify, and some credit cards only report to 1 credit bureau. The more credit bureaus the card reports to, then the faster your credit score will grow, as opposed to it being reported to 1 and then waiting for that credit bureau to share the information with the other 2 credit bureaus. Also, you want your first credit card to be one that upgrades you to an unsecured credit card after a while. So what this means is that the security deposit that you made up front to get this card, right? You want them to return it to you and offer you the same amount of credit or even more without that money. This way, if you keep the card forever, you don't have your deposit tied up in the card because you will want that money back to do other things. Now, there are 2 credit cards I like, or 2 secured credit cards I like, and these are the Capital One Secured and the Discover It Secured. In my opinion, they're the best cards for first-time credit card users. They're both free cards that have no annual fees, and so you can keep them forever. The Discover It Secured also gives you cash back and returns your deposit to you after a couple months. It also gives you cash back on every purchase and matches the cash back dollar for dollar at the end of your first year. I have a link to that card down below where you'll even get some bonus cash just for signing up. Now, I want to also mention here that a credit card isn't the only thing that you can do to start building your credit. You can get a credit builder loan, something like the self credit builder account, and that will help in building your credit as well. And I have a review of that on this channel as well. Now, the downside to doing that though is that you will have to pay fees and interest. With the secured credit card, if you use it properly, then you pay no fees and you pay no interest. So one is completely free and the other will cost you a little bit. So ideally, you want to get a credit card that you can keep forever and it has no annual fees or very little fees where you won't have a problem paying them. You also want your first credit card to have the highest limit possible, so you need to have a job or some way to get the maximum amount of deposit that you can and put that on this card so you can have a higher credit limit. For extras, you should also choose a credit card that gives you either cash back or points and also reports to all 3 credit bureaus. So whichever card you choose to go with as your first credit card, you should consider all the points made in this video before you apply because these can and will affect you later on. Comment below and let me know what your first credit card was, or even if you don't have it as yet, comment and let me know what cards you're thinking about getting as your first credit card. I hope you guys found this video very helpful, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, as that's the way these videos get recommended to more people here, and I'll really appreciate it. And also don't forget to check out some of my other videos here on credit cards, banking apps, savings accounts, investments, ways to make money, and much more. Also, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications, as this is the only way you'll be able to get the updates of when I post a new video here, and I'll be posting a new video every single day on YouTube. Now, I've also left a couple links down below to free stuff and free cashback offers. Link also to the Discover It Secured credit card where you can get some cash just for signing up. So be sure to check all the links down below for all kinds of free stuff. Once again, I hope this video was very helpful. All the best with your credit and your first credit card, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow.